Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 19th of May. The first news is Cabinet approved amendment to the National Biofuel policy. We'll see some of the changes and target that has been set by the government. Second, External Affairs Minister to participate in the BRICS Foreign Ministerial meeting. Third, NHRC flag pollution effect on human rights. Second last is two new ships will figure in Indian Navy. We'll see the advancement of the Indian Navy. And the last is an editorial, WHO gone wrong. So the recent data that was released by the WHO is not matching the government data of the death reports. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And just to tell you about our prelims test series course, along with this course, you'll get the 12-month subscription of the IAS Gazetted magazine, and these are the bifurcation of the test series, right? So you can check it out. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दिए हुए हैं, आप ज़्यादा जानकारी वहाँ से ले सकते हैं. The first news of the day, that is Cabinet approved amendment to the National Biofuel policy. Again, something very important decision coming in terms of the central government. This is important for General Studies paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementation. This is again important for General Studies paper 3 in the environmental related issues. So recently, the center has approved amendment to the National Biofuel policy, which was actually formulated in 2018. And the aim of this government, the amendment that aims to advance the date by which the fuel companies have to increase the percentage of ethanol. तो गवर्नमेंट ने ये डिसीजन मेन कंसर्न ये लेकर के लिया है कि जितने भी कंपनीज हैं जो फ्यूल कंपनीज हैं वो इथेनॉल के प्रोडक्शंस पेट्रोल में 20% तक इंक्रीज करें. एंड दिस टारगेट अर्लियर वाज सेट फॉर 2030. नाउ द गवर्नमेंट हैज़ चेंज द डेट और गवर्नमेंट ने इस परसेंटेज की जो डेडलाइन रखी थी 20%, वो कहा गया कि अब 2025 तक ये जितने भी पेट्रोल्स कंपनीज हैं उनको इथेनॉल की जो परसेंटेज है वो 20% करनी पड़ेगी by 2025 instead of 2030, right? Now the policy aims to introduce 20% ethanol in petroleum and it will take effect from 1st of April 2023. So next year down the line it will start, and this is expected to improve the ethanol production also, and even जिस तरह से uses हैं petroleum की वहाँ पे ethanol कुछ और reductions करेगी environmental pollutions में भी. So the main amendment that was approved to the National Biofuel Policy 2018, first is it will allow for a feedstock of production of biofuels. Second, promotion of production of biofuels in the country under Make in India program, under which the units localized special economic zones जो होंगे export oriented units हैं, this will be taken into consideration. And granting permission to the export of biofuel in specific cases would also be the part of the amendments. Now, क्या merits हैं central government के इस decision के? How this is going to affect basically policy makings में भी और environmentally. So as per the government, the new policy would allow more feedstock producing biofuel and foster the development of indigenous technology in our country. नीति आयोग की एक रिपोर्ट है जिसने भी ये कहा है that immense benefit would be there if will occur 20% of ethanol blending by 2025. So these were recommendations that is also coming from the think tank, that is Niti Aayog. So this will save around 30,000 crore rupees of foreign exchange per year. और अगर बात करें इसकी और कुछ मेजर एडवांसमेंट की, फर्स्ट इट विल इंश्योर increase energy security, lowered the carbon emission for India. Already we have international commitment, चाहे वो COP26 हो, पेरिस क्लाइमेट चेंज के कुछ और एग्रीमेंट्स हो, ये सारी चीज़ों में भी जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की कमिटमेंट है उसको अचीव करने में भी मदद मिलेगी. बेटर एयर क्वालिटी, सम ऑफ द सिटीज़ इन इंडिया हैव द पुअरेस्ट एंड द बैड क्वालिटी अमंग द वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज. खास करके अगर दिल्ली की बात करें, इट्स द मोस्ट पोल्यूटेड कैपिटल इन द वर्ल्ड, राइट? better self-reliance, better use of damaged food grains, and increased farm income and investment opportunities. So these are some of the merits of the decision. If you're writing in mains paper, अगर आप mains paper में इस तरह के क्वेश्चन के साथ अपेयर कर रहे हैं, so you should highlight all these advantages. Now ethanol blending की क्या status है? According to the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gases, India has achieved 9.45 ethanol blending as on March 13, 2022. This is a current status और government ने next year से target रखी है that we will reach out to 20%, right? So the government has projected that ethanol blending will reach up to 10% by end of this financial year और सेंटर ने जिस तरह से amendment की है उस हिसाब से 20% would be there for the next year. So this is how things would move ahead, and it will definitely help basically to reduce the emissions, and it will call for more indigenous technology in our country. Now aim for eco boost. Definitely the oil industries have allayed a fear of mixing ethanol with petrol as it cannot damage engine, right? Some people are of the opinion that it damage engine, but this is not the case. Ethanol is a biofuel that has obtained primarily from sugarcane. सबसे ज़्यादा यहाँ शुगर केन की ज़रूरत होती है, तो इससे शुगर केन की प्रोडक्शंस भी बढ़ेंगी. Now blending of ethanol with petroleum will reduce the dependence of fossil fuel. That will help the environment also. The government has set a target of 10% for ethanol per liter of the petrol for this financial year. और ethanol blend की अगर बात करें, through a separate pumping meters would also be required. Once blended, ethanol cannot be separated from petrol, right? And since ethanol can absorb moisture from the atmosphere, the dealer can say that it can cause with the vehicle's engine. तो ऐसा नहीं है, ये vehicle engine को किसी भी तरह से damage नहीं करती है. Now impact क्या होंगी vehicles पे? The 10% blending of petroleum does not require major changes on engine, but जो 20% की blending की government ने बात की है, that would require some changes also, and it will drive up the vehicle prices, because जब engine change होगी तो vehicle की जो price है, नए prices आएंगे, उसमें भी enhancement देखेगा, क्योंकि जब motor change होगी, then again you can anticipate the price of the vehicles to increase. The greater percentage of blending could also means more land being diverted to water intensive crops such as sugarcane, because sugarcane is a main component here, and which government is also subsidizing to a larger extent. Now Niti Aayog की क्या projections थी? As I have already discussed the Niti Aayog intention, but some projection on ethanol demand that 10.16 billion liter would be required by 2025. और current ethanol productions की बात करें, the capacity of India is 4.26 billion liters. And Mozales based distillators की अगर बात करें, this is 2.58 billions, right? This is basically the grain based distillators. Now this would be expanded to 7.6 billion. This is what the anticipation coming from the Niti Aayog, and 7.4 billion liter respectively. And this would require 6 million ton of sugar and 16.5 million ton of grain annually by 2025. So these are the target set by the Niti Aayog. Definitely the central government will take cognizance of it, and it will equally apply all this recommendation that is coming from the Niti Aayog. Now the other news, External Affairs Minister to participate in the BRICS Foreign Ministerial Meeting. Something important for General Studies Paper 2, bilateral regional grouping and agreement, evolving India's and affecting India's interest. So External Affairs Minister of India, Mr. S. Jaishankar, will join his counterpart from Russia, China, Brazil and South Africa in a virtual meeting of the BRICS Foreign Minister. Right? This is the first of the kind meeting after the Russia's invasion to Ukraine has took place, which was actually started in February. Almost 3 महीने हो गए हैं रशिया ने जब इन्वेड किया यूक्रेन को. The grouping has emerged as a valuable platform for an isolated Russia that is facing a crippling sanction from the West, especially from the United States and France. So China will host the BRICS ministerial meeting via video conferencing link. So this can be again factually important for many other competitive examination apart from UPSC. Now BRICS members, I think most of you must be aware, BRICS के 5 members हैं that include Brazil, South Africa, India, China and Russia. Right? Population अगर together अगर compound करें इसको, it is around 2.8 billion of the population, that is 42% of the total population. 26% of the world areas और GDP की अगर बात करें, that is close to 14% of the GDP, right? And population area wise, आप देख सकते हैं ये कुछ important data हैं that will again help you to get some factual information. Now BRICS plus dialogue की बात की गई है इस बार. So during this meeting, the BRICS foreign minister will have a BRICS plus dialogue, with which the counterparts from the emerging market and developing countries would be the part of it. And BRICS enjoy a global influence as a cooperation mechanism जहाँ पे emerging market और developing countries को एक मौका मिलता है so that they can have their proper representations. China foreign minister said that BRICS plus dialogue would send a message of solidarity and giving the developing countries a global say in the global governance. So this can be the major advantages. If it is asked in examination, make sure आप जो BRICS plus के जो main motives हैं वो ज़रूर highlight करें. Now sanctions against Russia. We have seen that many Western countries have sanctioned Russia because of their intention to invade Ukraine and their decision to invade Ukraine. So Russia is hoping a cooperation with the BRICS countries to help them to reduce the pressure जो कि Western sanctions से हुई हैं उनको. And Russia's foreign minister has called for a use of national currencies for the BRICS countries. जो उनके national currencies है उनको use की जाए. Integration of payment system should be the part of it. And other financial management system or messaging system should be there, and creation of BRICS rating agency should be the part of it. Recently you know that SWIFT की जो agreement है, जो SWIFT payment system है, उसके through ban कर दिया गया था रशिया को, and they would not be the part of SWIFT settlement system. Now beyond the statement, the support system of the BRICS countries would require that they should have a assistance from the circumventing sanctions. तो BRICS के साथ रशिया ये हेल्प चाहता है कि वो उसको ये सैंक्शंस को रिड्यूस करने में मदद करे, एंड दे शुड आल्सो कंसल्ट द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज एंड अदर एंटिटी दैट हैज इम्पोज्ड सैंक्शंस ऑन रशिया. नाउ NHRC flags pollution effect on the human right. This is important for General Studies paper 2. Government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementation. This is again important for General Studies paper 3 as well in the environmental pollution concern. So recently, National Human Rights Commission has said that it has issued advisory to both center and the state government on preventing, minimizing and mitigating the impact of environmental pollution and degradation on human rights. Right? तो कुछ advisory जो publish की गई है NHRC के through, they focus करती हैं punishment of the polluters, preventing and mitigating the vehicle pollutions, and transparent processing of approval and clearance under the environmental law. So these are the focus area upon which the NHRC has highlighted the central government and the state government in terms of the pollutions. Concern क्या raise की गई है NHRC के द्वारा? The NHRC has said that despite having one of the world best statutory and policy framework of the environmental protection, still we are facing the problem of pollutions, और ये ecological degradations में और even the basic human rights है, the right to life को कहीं ना कहीं impact करती हैं. NHRC की जो सेक्रेटरी जनरल है, रिटन लेटर टू द सेक्रेटरीज ऑफ इंडियन गवर्नमेंट, जितने भी मिनिस्ट्रीज है, डिपार्टमेंट है, और चीफ सेक्रेटरी ऑफ ऑल स्टेट एंड इवन द रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ हाई कोर्ट टू इम्प्लीमेंट द रिकमेंडेशंस एंड टेक एक्शन विद इन 3 months. और जो एक्शन टेकिंग रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो सबमिट करें NHRC को विद इन 3 months. दिस इज व्हाट द कॉग्निजेंस वाज टेकन बाय द नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट कमीशंस. सो आप ऑफिस ऑफ NHRC के बारे में भी देख लें. दिस बिकम इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. You can read more about NHRC from the Lakshmikant book as well, from the Indian Polity. Now, intention behind advisory, NHRC said that these efforts would include strengthening the pollution control board, और जितनी भी regulatory authorities हैं उनको एक और enhanced power मिलेगी ताकि वो actions ले सकें. The union and the state government should make efforts to ensure effective and expeditious punishment polluters and violators जो भी environmental laws को impact कर रहे हैं उनके खिलाफ एक stringent punishment procedures भी होनी चाहिए. The commission said that the pollution control board should create a separate investigation जो prosecutions wing create करे ताकि जो इसके cases हैं, जो pending cases हैं वो जल्दी से execute हो, उनके resolution जल्दी से दिए जा सके, and even a regular training session should be there for the staffs as well. Other news, 2 new ships will figure in Indian Navy, something important for General Studies paper 3. Advancement of science and technology, development of new technology, or advancement of scientific and even you can say the different technologies. So the Defense Minister has recently launched 2 Frontline Warship in Indian Navy that will mark the significant milestone for their construction, and this would be inducted very soon in the Indian Navy. So which are the 2 ships? The first is Surat and other is Udyagri. So these are the 2 frontline vessels that will go the rigorous sea trial before they inducted into or commissioned into Indian Navy, और उसके बाद इन दोनों के नाम के आगे INS लगाया जाएगा, right? Once the trial is successfully completed. Now, under what project they are built? तो अगर दोनों शिप की बात करें, डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ नेवल डिजाइंस के अंदर ये डिजाइन की गई है. सूरत is a 4th warship that is built under project 15B. The Surat is a Visakhapatnam class guided missile destroyer which has the capability to attack other ships also. तो ये जितने भी factual information है, this is very important for your prelims examination. So make sure to take a note of this. Now, ship Surat has a 4th and the last seat destroyer under the project 15B. And project 15 की अगर बात करें, project 15 class of ship are the next generation of sheath guided missile destroyer of Indian Navy that is built at the Mcq Dock Limited in Mumbai. Now the other ship, that is Udyagri, is the second warship produced under the project 17A in the Nilgiri class frigates, and these frigates are usually faster than other maneuvers. The first vessel under this project was INS Nilgiri that was launched way back in 2019. And ships under the project 15B and 17A are the project that is being built under the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. Now, capacity किस तरह से नेवी की improve होगी? Once they are inducted, the Indian Navy present fleet is more than 130 ships. और जो submarines की बात करें, this is over 230 aircrafts, right? And the Navy has divided its combat capabilities on 3 categories: surface ships, Navy aviations और submarine. जो सरफेस सब सरफेस होते हैं उनमें तो 3 कैटेगरीज होती हैं अभी इंडियन नेवी के पास. सरफेस शिप्स आर द लार्जेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द नेवी फ्लीट. इन तीनों में सबसे ज़्यादा जो हाईएस्ट नंबर्स हैं वो सरफेस शिप्स की. दैट इंक्लूड कॉर्वेट्स, फ्रिगेट्स, डिस्ट्रॉयर. ये सारे लिस्ट हैं. यू कैन पॉज दिस वीडियो, यू कैन चेक इट आउट, राइट. नाउ एविएशंस में अगर बात करें, एविएशन में 10 नेवल एयर स्क्वाड्रन्स हैं. एयरक्राफ्ट इंक्लूड हेलीकॉप्टर इंक्लूडिंग MiG-29, ड्रोन एयर सर्वेलेंस, anti-submarines capable P-8Y, चेतक, ध्रुव, सी लेकिंग 42B और कामोव हेलीकॉप्टर्स जो कि रशिया के थ्रू इंपोर्ट किए गए. अंडर वाटर कैपेसिटी की बात करें, नेवी हैज 16 कन्वेंशनल डीजल इलेक्ट्रिक सबमरीन्स दैट इज क्लासिफाइड एज SSK with 2 Kalaveri class submarines launched yet but commissioned. And India has also 2 nuclear ballistic submersible that is classified as SSBN, and this is under the Strategic Force Command of Indian Navy. Now moving to the editorial of the day. This is titled as WHO Gone Wrong. This is written by Salija Chandra. She is a Secretary of Ministry of Health Affairs, Ministry of Health actually. Important for General Studies Paper 2, Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors and Issues Arising from it, Design and Implementations. So I'll be simplifying this editorial by 4 important subheads. The first include the background, second is civil registration system, third is debt data, and conclusion. Entire editorial focuses upon the WHO COVID debt data. So according to the latest report which was published by the World Health Organization, and the report quote that 4.7 million Indians have died during the COVID-19, right? This amount to 47 lakh death that was reported. This is what the WHO report has to say. But again, there's some concern raised with regards to the data that was presented by the WHO. So ये data January 20 से December 21 तक के बीच के ली गई है. And this data is 10 times what the government of India has actually figured. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने 4.7 लाख की फिगर दी है, बट एक्चुअली यहाँ पे ये जो नंबर्स आई है वो 10 टाइम्स है ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया डेटा. दैट इज अगेन a bone of contention between WHO and the central government. In fact, it is nearly 1/3 of the WHO estimated of all COVID. जितनी भी केसेस रिपोर्ट की गई हैं 1/3 जो डेथ है वो सिर्फ इंडिया से रिपोर्ट की गई है, ऐसा कहना है WHO का. WHO reports has projected the mathematical modeling which says that India has 4.7 million or 47 lakh of the COVID death that was reported. But again, these are some of the concerns that the expert or the stakeholders has raised concern about the methodology that was actually used by the WHO. Now सिविल रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम है इंडिया में. इन इंडिया जो रजिस्ट्रार जनरल ऑफ इंडिया होते हैं इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर सिविल रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम अपॉन विच ऑल द डेथ्स एंड बर्थ रिपोर्ट आर रिपोर्टेड. ये सारी चीज़ें रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं ईयरली बेसिस पे. सारी चीज़ें रिकॉर्ड होती हैं. आई टेल यू हाउ इट इज़ बीइंग रिकॉर्डेड. सो जो खास करके एस्टिमेशंस हैं, जो जितनी भी चीज़ें रिकॉर्ड होती है वो रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ बर्थ एंड डेथ एक्ट 1969 के अंदर रिपोर्ट होती है. दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द कंकरेंट लिस्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट. And under the law, the chief registrar has to maintain this data every year and they have to send it to the government, right? तो जितनी भी deaths और birth हुई हैं वो सारी data रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं on a yearly basis. Civil registration system 2020 come out on the May and 2-year time की lagging है because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Some restriction was ongoing और अभी भी ये report publish नहीं हुई है. Very soon this would be published because things are pretty normal side. डेथ की अगर बात करें, डेथ डेटा, सो डेथ फ्रॉम द सिविल रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम शोज दैट 6% इंक्रीज इन ओवरऑल, चाहे वो महाराष्ट्र, बिहार, गुजरात, वेस्ट बंगाल, आंध्र प्रदेश, तमिलनाडु, कर्नाटका, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान, आसाम, आंध्र प्रदेश, हरियाणा से. तो ये कुछ स्टेट्स हैं जहाँ से ऑलरेडी ये बताई गई है कि ये जो नंबर्स है वो बढ़े. थिंक दिस आंध्र प्रदेश इज रिपीटेड ट्वाइस, यू कैन इग्नोर दिस. नाउ CRS data even provide a breakup by the age cohort, which says that from 2018 to 2020, the 70 plus age group were more in terms, reductions to the death in Kerala and partly in Telangana. तो ये दो states में जो numbers हैं वो थोड़ी कम report की गई हैं दो states में. Now, what is the conclusion that we can make out from the WHO data? First, like the use of digital software is increasing across the state and dependence on the manual reporting has reduced. Second, digitalization is a primary level of touched 87% and this will slash the number of publication data because still जो registrar general of India है उनके तरफ से report नहीं आई है. Further, they have to take cognizance of this and prompt the action so that किसी भी तरह से जो पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम है, पॉलिसी मेकर्स एंड सोसाइटी शुड नॉट बी लैकिंग बिहाइंड बिकॉज ऑफ द इनएडिक्वेट डेटा. सो दे शुड fasten the entire process. And the good news is that the awareness about the need of birth and death has been registered is growing. तो जितने भी numbers हो डेथ के या फिर खास करके बर्थ के वो सारे रिपोर्ट्स हो रहे हैं इंडिया में. दिस इज समथिंग विच इज अ गुड न्यूज़ फॉर कंट्री लाइक इंडिया. सो दिस इज हाउ द कंक्लूजन कैन मूव ahead. Moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is B. For second question, also the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for practice, quad grouping के बारे में आपको बताना है. It's a 4-nation alliance that is India, US, Australia and Russia. It aims to safeguard the democratic nations in Indo-Pacific and address the global challenges. So do check it out, which among the following is the correct options. Second question for the day, Malabar exercise, again something important for the prelims. यहाँ पे आपको बताना है it's an annual trilateral exercise between the navies of India, Japan and US, and this is held alternatively between India and Pacific Ocean. Indian Ocean और Pacific Ocean में alternatively ये की जाती है. So do check it out for the correct option. And these are some other important questions. CAPF में भी इस तरह के questions पूछे जाते हैं. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis of the day, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.